Hey Kathy, it's Kim. I thought I'd just jump up on here real quick and catch up with you on some of the records that you recommended to me because I just got home from work and listened to a whole bunch of records while I was there. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. And if you're not Kat, or if you're watching this in the future and you don't remember what how I run these things, when I'm listening to these records, I listen to this while I'm at my warehouse job. And usually I'm only wearing one earbud at a time. Most of the time you can rely on me wearing it in the right ear, but like for the last 2 hours or so, usually I'll go on the left. First, you gave me a playlist that you called Slip On, which is a collection of Slipknot tracks that you wanted me to check out because, I mean, of course, before I forget, we all played Guitar Hero 3. Like, we all know about this song. I saw you play Duality a couple times. I think it was on Guitar Hero Live, and I just rediscovered that song. I think it was a Rick Beato video. It showed up in the newspaper. So I watched, I'm like, oh, you're right, Duality, man. This song rocks. And I remember I talked to you, but I was like,
Duality's not even their best song, bro. Like, Duality, like, Wait Bleed, you ain't listen to Psychosocial now? Psychosocial, come on, man.
and like, because I remember I called you, because I listened to Slipknot 1 and Slipknot 3, and this is kind of a similar one, issue that I had just with the playlist and jar. I love this band, of course, like Slipknot, I love Slipknot, but you know me, just like running around the warehouse all night, like just an hour and a half of Slipknot isn't exactly what I wanted to do. But I really appreciate it. I'll listen to it on a walk or something. So, Plantation. Yeah,
I feel like this music's too lucid for plants.
but I don't know. Am I a plant? Because I am so about this stuff. Kat, I don't know if you know this about me yet, but like early sound, like, I love it. I think it was a warm day last week, and you had gone out, and you told me to give another listen to What You Don't See, and I did. And then after I did that, I listened to it like 3 or 4 more times, and dude, like this is the definitive pop punk record for me now. Like, take this to your grave. Good record, love that record, but like this one, What You Don't See, the only pop punk album that anybody really needs at this point. Jackie Cashin, I'm Not the Hero of This Story. This, I mean, I don't know if it's gonna go like right up on the top shelf, but this is some Criterion Collection stuff right here. The Story with the Grandmother. If you're not Kat and you're watching this video, you gotta listen to this record. Gary Goldman, It's About Time. I found this to be a pretty pleasant listen. You and I both kind of run the gamut with Gary over here, and he's pretty hit or miss with the other records, but I think this one is a really solid, just front to back good Jokes from Gary record. Because I also listened to The Great Depression, which is his newest one. That one was really good. Kind of a similar thing to that Chris Gethard record you told me about last year, because he's talking about his depression and how it affected his career and the time that he spent dealing with all that. Very interesting record. A little more lighthearted than the Gethard, actually, but still also a very good listen. But if you want just jokes, It's About Time. Fish Sandwich by Greg Warren. Okay, Boomer. I remember, I want to say it was like 2007, 2008. I was watching this guy on Comedy Central Presents, and he was doing that, I think it's 2-star person material, and I didn't think it was very funny back then either. So, you know, I've been working on this Black Eyed Peas video, so let me run through some of the research I've been doing real quick. Monkey Business, this is like, I've been kind of talking up the singles in conversation with you the past couple of weeks, but honestly, bro, like this is like the Black Eyed Peas that we have at home type of deal. Like, at least on like Elephant, like there are worse songs on that record, but at least like each one they're kind of like trying something, where Monkey Business really just feels like it was recorded on tour.
Hey Kathy, I was just editing this and I realized I forgot to mention Don't Funk With My Heart. Listen to the drums on this track. I'm serious.
Yeah, check it out.
Elephant, I mean, like, there's a couple of tracks on here that I appreciated, but like I said, like the bad stuff on here is like pretty terrible. These are skip tracks for this one. Let's Get It Started is the best song, recorded by the Black Eyed Peas. What are the other ones called? The first one, what is it? They have similar names. Behind the Front. Okay, so there's definitely an element of I didn't give this a fair shake because I was at work, and when I listened to this record, like, I was kind of having a bad day, and I was just doing something that I didn't want to be doing, like, in particular at my job. So, like, this one, it's like, this is like a smooth jazz record you would put on while you're, like, cooking dinner or, like, doing, like, some chores or something. It's a 70-minute CD, which, like, I feel like if I picked this up to keep in my car in 2000, like, I would think, like, oh, this is a pretty good investment. Like, I can rock this thing, like, pretty much all day while I'm, like, doing everything in the car. But, like, listening to it, like, on my iPod in, like, further on into the 21st century, by minute 45, I'm like, I just can't wait for this to be over. What's the other one called? Bridging the Gap. I listened to that more recently. I feel like it's, I wouldn't say heavier or harder, but it's just, like, you know, a little more in your face. I mean, I remembered it a little bit better, but I also kind of cared for it a little bit less, even though it was shorter. And that's really all I have to say about the Black Eyed Peas today. Nickelback, All the Right Reasons. So I went to this one because, you know, I've been rocking out on Rockstar pretty lately. Oh, I love Rockstar. That's such a good song. But I'll tell you what, I am not in the military in 2008, and I don't know anybody who is, and at this point in history, that person doesn't exist anymore. So I don't really know anyone who needs to listen to this CD. Most of the singles are fine. Skip the one that I can't even think of the name of right now. What you want to listen to is Dear Agony by Breaking Benjamin. This, pretty solid rock and roll album. I cared a lot for this thing. Marty Robbins, Gunfighter Ballads and Trail Songs. Mwah! Top shelf. This is some country music. I'm getting the sense that, like, similar to how What You Don't See is kind of the only pop punk album that anyone, unless you listen to pop punk, obviously, but the quintessential record that everyone just kind of needs if you're going to listen to this type of music, I feel like this Marty Robinson right here. This is the only country music you're going to need for the next 100,000 years. Lori Kilmartin, 45 jokes about my dead dad. Listen, honey, just because the person you're making fun of is a cisgender conservative person doesn't make your joke not transphobic. And that is pretty much all I have to say about all that. Alright, good night, Kat.